The first warning that something was terribly wrong came from a place so remote that most star maps forgot to mark it. A lone, automated observatory, drifting in the cold dark between spiral arms, detected a gravitational ripple that shouldn't exist, a pulse of pressure in space-time, too controlled to be natural and too immense to be ignored. The station attempted to transmit the data to the Galactic Council, but before the message fully uploaded, the entire facility went dark. Its systems failed. Its sensors melted, and its last recorded image showed a patch of starlight suddenly swallowed by an impossible shadow, as if a wall of darkness had moved across the void. The transmission cut there. No one knew. Not yet. On the prosperous worlds of the galactic core, the cycle of Radiance Festival began. Music filled the sky plazas. Light drones danced around high towers. The council leaders arrived in shimmering starships, their hulls etched in gold, their entourages draped in rare fabrics. Billions across the galaxy watched the event live as the greatest powers celebrated their dominance. And among them, arriving quietly in a simple gray shuttle, were the humans. Their craft was so small that some security drones confused it with a supply pod. When the human delegation stepped out, the crowd barely turned. Many didn't realize Earth still had ambassadors. Those who did exchanged mocking glances. Humans had once been spirited, ambitious, troublesome. But after their colonies fell apart, after their fleets vanished, after Earth stopped answering calls, they became a fading rumor, a footnote in history, a quiet species on a quiet planet, not a threat, never a threat. So when the human envoy entered the council hall, the towering species standing around the central dais didn't even pause their conversations. Some smirked, some openly laughed. The Zykar matrons whispered, "How quaint, they still pretend they matter." The Vexel warlords chuckled. Perhaps they came to beg for protection. The Wren emissaries said nothing, but their eyes gleamed with predatory amusement. The hall was a cathedral of power, colossal pillars of crystal, a dome carved from the inner shell of a dead star, and beneath it all, a platform where only the strongest had the right to speak. So when the human walked to the center, alone, unguarded, unarmored, dozens of alien delegates stared down at him like judges staring at the condemned. He raised his head, calm, too calm. His voice carried farther than expected. "We come with a message." Laughter rolled through the chamber like thunder. "A message," barked the Zykar firstborn. "You come with nothing." The Vexel commander pointed at the envoy's simple suit. "Your people have no fleets, no allies, no power. Speak quickly, little Earthborn, so we may return to real matters." The human did not blink. "You are correct about one thing," he said softly. "We came with nothing." The chamber erupted again. Even the holographic audience feeds lit up with jeers. Yet something strange passed across the envoy's expression, something subtle, almost a shadow. "We came with nothing," he continued, "because you took everything from us. Our colonies, our ships, our dignity. You looked at us and saw weakness. You believed we were breaking." He paused. "You mistook silence for surrender." The council fell quiet, not out of respect, but impatience. The Vexel commander scoffed. "Silence is weakness, and you have drowned in it." The human's eyes, dull brown at first glance, glimmered faintly with blue light. "No," he said. "Silence is preparation." Before anyone could react, he tapped a node on his wrist. A pulse, silent, invisible, shot across subspace. The envoy bowed slightly. "The message has been delivered." Then he left the hall. At first, no one cared. The council resumed its discussions. The Zykar matrons laughed. The Wren emissaries barely looked up from their datapads, but the Vexel commander watched the human leave with a cold unease threading down his spine. Something in the envoy's voice, something in the steadiness of his steps. He didn't know what it was, but he felt, for the first time in many years, fear. The fear was justified. At the edges of known space, hidden inside nebulae thick as oceans, humanity's silence ended. Titan engines, dormant for centuries, ignited with a roar that bent the dust clouds around them. Colossal shipyards carved into dead moons awakened, shedding debris like old skin. Massive forges reshaped superheated alloys, crafting hulls that shimmered like obsidian and drank in starlight. For generations, humanity had vanished from the galaxy's stage, not to die, to become something the galaxy could not predict. In the hidden sectors, forgotten by star maps, the Terran Deepworks had been constructing vessels unlike anything before seen. Ships without seams, without visible propulsion systems, without weak points, living steel, adaptive armor, gravitic heart cores that pulsed like the breath of titans. Humanity did not rebuild an army. They built a force of nature. And now, with the envoy's single activation signal, they began to move. Entire fleets rose from behind lifeless planets. Swarms of stealth craft slipped out from the shadows of asteroid fields. Armored carriers the size of cities emerged from gravitational wells, their engines tearing open shimmering scars in space-time. The greatest of them all turned slowly toward the galactic core, a dreadnought whose sheer mass distorted the stars behind it. Its name burned in blue light across its side. SS Elysium. On the bridge, Admiral Mara Solaine opened her eyes for the first time in 17 years of cryo-sleep. Her first words were simple. Begin Phase 2. Back at the Galactic Council, the first reports arrived. A Wren patrol fleet had disappeared. Then a Zykar survey team. Then 3 Vexal frigates. The Council dismissed the alarms. Pirates, they said. Accidents. But the disappearances increased. When a Vexal heavy destroyer, one of their strongest ships, vanished with all hands, the Council reconvened. This time, the laughter was gone. Sensors across dozens of systems picked up anomalies, moving shadows, unidentified signatures, energy levels beyond known classifications, entire star fields flickering as if something titanic was blocking the light. The Zykar matrons demanded answers. The Wren emissaries requested proof. The Vexal commander only whispered, "Humanity. It must be humanity." No one wanted to believe him. Then the disaster at the Helian Rift happened. A Wren battle group entered the rift, intending to find the source of the anomalies. They transmitted their arrival. Then the stars behind them vanished. A shape emerged, bigger than any ship in Wren history, curved like the blade of a dark god, silent as a dead universe. It moved without thrust. It aimed without lights. It simply existed, terrifying and impossible. A single blue symbol flickered to life on its hull, a planet encircled by 12 stars. The Wren commander ordered all ships to fire. The fleet's entire arsenal lit up the darkness. The Terran vessel did not move. It absorbed everything. Then, with a pulse, one single pulse, the Wren battle group ceased to exist. No fire, no explosion, no wreckage, just silence. That recording reached the Council minutes later. This time, nobody spoke. Back on Earth, which the galaxy believed weak, poor, forgotten, skies filled with the shadows of returning cruisers. Terran cities lit their defense grids in celebration, not fear. Children pointed upward as vast carriers glided across the atmosphere like floating continents, welcomed home by cheering crowds. Earth had not fallen. Earth had not suffered. Earth had evolved. The envoy who visited the Council returned to the Terran capital. He walked through crowds waving banners of the new emblem. He stood before a massive wall-sized window overlooking the cradle of humanity. Someone approached him, an old friend, a cybernetics engineer. "Do they know?" she asked. "They will," he replied. Very soon, across the galaxy, chaos spread. Empires scrambled ships into defensive positions. Border colonies evacuated. Black markets surged with rumors of Terran ghosts, silent ships that appeared and disappeared like phantoms. Some believed humanity sought revenge. Some believed humanity sought conquest. The truth was far more complicated. Humanity wanted protection, security, a promise that no one would ever again exploit their weakness. And if respect could not be given voluntarily, it would be taken. When the Terran Armada finally revealed itself, it was at the Council's doorstep. A shadow fell across their central station. Delegates rushed to the windows, expecting an invasion force. They were wrong. It was not a fleet. It was all of them. Every Terran vessel built in the last century, hundreds of dreadnoughts, thousands of cruisers, swarms of interceptors, encircled the station like a mechanical eclipse. Stars disappeared behind a wall of black and blue. Their engines rumbled softly, like the breath of a sleeping beast. Then a hologram materialized in the council chamber. The human envoy. His expression was no longer calm. It was resolute. "You mocked our end. But we were not ending. We were becoming." Behind him, the Armada shone like a reborn constellation. Humanity does not seek war. Humanity seeks respect, and we have earned it. Silence. Absolute. Even the Vexal commander bowed his head. One by one, the great powers lowered their banners. The envoy looked out over them all. "If you threaten us again," he said, "we will return, and the silence you gave us will become yours." The message vanished. The Terran armada slowly drifted back into the darkness, not conquering, not demanding tribute, only watching, only waiting. Across the galaxy, children would grow up whispering the name of the species no one dared provoke: the humans, the silent ones, the sleepers, the giants who awoke, and the galaxy would never laugh at Earth again.